Coming up on State of Events, Fleet Week has returned to San Francisco.
Community members rally in support of Iranian rights.
And the latest update on the family kidnapped in Merced.
State of Events starts now.
Good afternoon and welcome to State of Events. I'm Sophia Bruinsma.
And I'm Evangelina Perez. First up today, it's the loudest San Francisco event of the year. Fleet Week came to a close after a weekend that not everyone expected. More with the story is State of Events' Nasu Nguyen. Nasu, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Eva. It's always a good day working with the both of you, but different things could be said for the people who came to see the big show over the weekend.
For some people, this noise may be startling, but for many others, it's a sound that gets them revved up just as the Blue Angels are for this year's Fleet Week. After dealing with 2 years of COVID-19, millions of visitors were ready to see one of the most popular traditions in San Francisco, the Blue Angels Air Show. This marks the 41st annual Fleet Week show. The event honors contributions of the United States Armed Forces and includes fun activities centered around the people that serve the country.
I usually come by myself unless one of my friends comes, and I meet a lot of interesting people and just the random conversations and the shared experience.
Some of the best spots to watch the air show was from the Marina Greens and Aquatic Park, where thousands of people can see the Blue Angels take over the sky between the Golden Gate and Alcatraz. However, the not-so-friendly skies had to halt the aerial acrobatics. Instead, it was another friend who decided to crash the party. And that friend was Carl the Fog. Spectators made what they could of the foggy weather and continued to enjoy the event.
Well, I would definitely say it was very upsetting because me and my family got there around 10, so we waited for a while, but yeah, we're going to try to make the most out of this day despite what happened.
While some people were in good spirits, it was a bummer for many individuals.
I was disappointed because I was looking forward to it, and now I've got to wait a year unless I just decide to travel to another area where they're having an air show.
The Blue Angels had to cancel their Sunday show due to the heavy fog. Despite the disappointment some people may have, Marine Corps Private Levi Frost reminds us why we celebrate Fleet Week in the first place.
To give back to the community for how much our community supports us. Well, not just us as a branch, but us as a military overall, really.
This year's Fleet Week event is looking like what it once was pre-pandemic. And for some folks, that semblance of normalcy may be just what people need right now. Nasu Nguyen, State of Events.
Nasu, it's unfortunate to hear that the air show had some setbacks. What did people do once they heard that the news of the Blue Angels show was canceled?
Well, Eva, I noticed many people getting ready to leave, while some decided to continue exploring the different booths offered. But let's just hope that next year's Fleet Week brings more clear skies.
I hope so too. Thank you, Nasu.
Thank you.
Hundreds of community members in San Francisco gathered at the doors of City Hall to support the Iranian women last Sunday. This rally stems from the protests in Iran, which are led by women and teenagers demanding justice, change, and freedom amid an extremist regime. Key speakers like Senator Scott Wiener and District Attorney Brooke Jenkins were in attendance. These Bay Area Iranian American community leaders plan to continue protesting until change unfolds.
A vigil was held for the family in Merced who were kidnapped and murdered earlier this month. The family was reported missing since October 3rd. A security camera at the family business showed that they were last seen taken at gunpoint on October 5th. All 4 bodies were found in an orchard, including the family's 6-month-old. Charges are filed against the suspect on Monday, who was a former employee of the family business.
In the months after the murder of 19 students and 2 teachers at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, there are still more questions than answers. And now, a new question. Who will replace the district superintendent? Hal Harrell announced his retirement Monday. As Shimon Capez reports, the move marks another divide in this heartbroken community.
Are you commenting, Superintendent? For months, some Uvalde parents have called for the removal of their school superintendent. On Monday, Hal Harrell gave in. The superintendent of the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District announced his retirement via social media. Published on his wife's Facebook account, Harrell said, quote, "My decision to retire has not been made lightly and was made after much prayer and discernment." At a Uvalde school board meeting after the announcement, emotions were running high, inside and outside the venue.
Excuse me, I would appreciate it if you can get to the meeting on time and if you would give him space.
Supporters of Harold gathered outside of the meeting and greeted him with hugs, despite continuing questions about the police and school response to the Uvalde massacre.
Mr. Harrell, Shimon from CNN.
As well as what role, if any, Harrell had in hiring a former Texas Department of Public Safety trooper. Crimson Elizondo is under investigation for her response to the school shooting and has since been fired by the district. She has declined to speak with CNN. Harrell evaded CNN questions about her hiring.
I think I'm going to enjoy this right now. Thank you.
Inside the board meeting, Harrell received a standing ovation from supporters who were mostly white. Many came also to his defense.
Some of us understand why you feel the need to step down. You trusted your staff and they failed you. They failed you this time. But like a good captain that goes down with his ship, you feel it's best.
On the other side of an apparent racial divide, mostly Hispanic families of victims, heartbroken and outspoken.
But I will say this, if it had been 17 white kids, all of those people out there would have been in here. All of our kids matter.
Addressing the board members, family members cried and pleaded for accountability.
How is it that you all are entitled to get a pass in the most violent school massacre in Texas? Y'all should have been fired or arrested for gross negligence, child endangerment, something.
19 children, 2 teachers. Someone has to take responsibility for those deaths. We can't just all sit back and wait for an investigation to be completed. We're not asking for criminal charges, we're asking for accountability.
Following a closed session, the board voted unanimously to begin the search for a new superintendent.
Have a great retirement. Yeah.
But for many members of the local Hispanic community, that won't matter much.
We all know that having a new school with the same complacent leaders is not the change this town deserves.
Harrell announced earlier Monday that he will remain throughout the year until a new superintendent is named.
Coming up after the break, President Biden's latest decision as midterm elections get closer.
And one daycare worker is facing major backlash after a disturbing video surfaced. So stick around.
Yes. Oh, hi. I suppose you're wondering what an A-list celebrity like me is doing in a place like this. You must know, I'm saving the world. Oh, hi, Beth. Yep, saving the world again. Did you know that 40% of all the food produced in the United States is thrown away? That means everything that went into that food, the pesticides, the water, the land, was all for nothing. Just look at this perfectly good food thrown in the trash. The pizza with extra Cheerios, these goldfish and Band-Aid tacos. And just look at this perfect trash burger. This pasta dog looks delicious.
You don't have to dumpster dive like Ed Begley Jr. to save the planet. Fight food waste by shopping smart and using what you buy before it gets trashed.
That's way better. Ooh, arugula.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
Welcome back to State of Events. The U.S. is moving towards decriminalizing marijuana. President Biden is pardoning people convicted of simple possessions at the federal level. Critics point out that the announcement comes about little less than a month before the midterm elections. 19 states currently permit marijuana usage for health reasons.
A Mississippi daycare is being investigated after a disturbing video surfaced on Facebook. The video shows a daycare worker from Little Blessings Child Care and Learning Center wearing a Halloween mask and yelling at children inches from their faces who didn't clean up or act good. Children in the videos are seen running away and crying. A daycare worker has since been fired.
And now moving on to one of our favorite holidays, Halloween is just around the corner and the screams and laughs are already back. Erica Rodriguez has the story.
One of the largest haunted houses around the Bay Area is back to work. I went and see what's all the hype about. Halloween is right around the corner and Sacramento Scream Park is back. They have reopened after 3 years of being closed. They can be found at 4909 Aburn Boulevard, and the location is open until November 5th. Yes, even after Halloween. They are the biggest, most elaborate spooky haunted house located in Sacramento, just minutes from the Bay Area. They offer haunted attractions covering more than 20,000 square feet. The haunted house, according to Sacramento Scream Park, is a 30-minute walk-through horror movie, only if you make it all the way out. They offer 3 different themes, each with its own special fears. The Louisiana Catacombs, the Blind Asylum, and the Haunted Mansion are this year 3 haunted attractions.
Very scary, very fun. Everybody should come. About 30 minutes going through, and it was very fun for me. My first time, but a very excellent experience. I recommend everybody to go to it if you get a chance. My daughter was 3, she went, her mother went, we had the best time. Recommend it to anybody. I'll be here next year.
They do not have a physical ticket office. All ticket sales are done online at sacramentoparkcalifornia.com. You are given 3 ticket options, regular and add-on options, to help you skip the wait. They have extremely long waits to get inside because of their high level of fame, and lines are at their shortest on Mondays through Thursdays, Sundays, and just before they open. By buying Fast Pass admission tickets or immediate admission tickets, you can also avoid the line.
Let me tell you, I just worked with 3 scary houses. I mean, the work is amazing, actors were amazing, everything looks so real. If you like scary movies or getting scared, I recommend coming here. For set of events, I'm Erica Rodriguez.
What a spooky time for visitors. Erica, how was your experience?
Well, Ava, it was the scariest thing I ever done. My voice was gone from all the screaming. Every time I go to things like this, I tell myself before, Erica, it's not real, it's all actors. But for this place, it was just next level excitement.
Good to know. Thank you, Erica.
Thanks, Ava.
Yeah, that sounds like a really scary experience. I personally get super scared to go in haunted houses, and like watching some horror movies really does scare me.
But hey, it's the one time of the year where it's cool to scare people.
That's very true.
Coming up after the break, one of the popular chip brands is displaying a new statue for Chip Fantastics.
And one San Francisco eatery is celebrating Filipino American History Month in a savory way, so don't go away.
Anticipate potential delays for the morning commute. In other news, a recent government report on prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know.
What are you talking about, man? Look at his stats.
It's about your right to be informed. Your right to access all types of information keeps us free as a nation.
No.
Today, there are real threats to press freedom.
Residential areas by...
And your right to know about the world around us.
Look.
Some threats are obvious, some are easy to miss, but they all put our way of life at risk. We must defend against all of these threats, no matter what kind of news is important to you.
Justified putting American troops in harm's way.
That's a great question.
We must protect our right to know before it's too late. Understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
Welcome back to State of Events. Some big news in the MMA community. Last Saturday, the classic striker versus grappler fight went down at UFC Vegas 61. Mackenzie Dern, a jiu-jitsu black belt, took an emotional defeat against Yan Xiaonan and expressed her disappointment post-fight. Dern's submissions did not succeed against Yan, as she managed to defend well on the ground even against a late armbar. Yan won the majority decision by the 5th round.
What a better way to kick off Filipino American Heritage Month than to highlight a savory and sweet hidden gem within San Francisco's very own Ferry Building. On the dock of the pier sits a Filipino treasure that puts a twist on Filipino food, creating an Asian fusion phenomenon. Long lines are not usual for Señora Sisig. Crowds flock to this eatery for their unique menu, known for their street food style cooking, and marinated pork that can be folded into burritos or put into tacos.
And finally, a giant Cheeto, complete with massive finger-coated in orange dust 17 feet high. The Cheetos brand erected the statue in the Cheetle community of Alberta, Canada. Why there? Because Cheetle is actually what the Cheetos company calls its infamous cheesy fingertip dusting. The unique art piece will be on display until November 4th, then embark on a Canadian tour.
And now for some Cheetos.
It's Cheeto time.
Well, I hope that Cheeto is the biggest Cheeto that I've ever seen.
Me too, and I hope it's edible and perhaps spicy, because that's my favorite type of Cheeto.
Well, that's all that we have for today. Thanks for joining us.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel called State of Events. For State of Events, I'm Sophia Bruinsma.
And I'm Evangelina Perez. Have a great day.